it took your breath for a minute.
Yeah, I was like, and then I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. And before I knew it was over, it was sad.
This is crazy. This is so nuts.
I'm Leticia Ferrer.
And I'm Chris Alexander.
And this is Totality Talks, the Solar Eclipse podcast.
It just took my breath away, the whole thing. It's really cool that you can see the corona and you see the sun kind of spewing out from behind the moon. It literally took our breath away.
A lot of people said overrated, but that was like one of the coolest things I've ever
Not overrated.
Imagine, for a moment, being in a place where the world hushes to a stillness. The air grows cooler, and an eerie twilight envelops the landscape. Birds fall silent, and the usual sounds of life give way to an unexpected silence. As the moon shadow kisses the earth, a breathtaking celestial event unfolds. On Totality Talks, we'll be interviewing experts, enthusiasts, and taking the deep dive into the true awe of totality.
For many people, it is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Unless you're crazy and chase them all over the world.
I wouldn't call it crazy.
I would. When all my friends are retiring around me, it's because I spent all my money chasing solar eclipses. Woo!
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can roll you out there with your, I saw the Eclipse of 2045 t-shirt all worn out.
That's it, when I'm 104. Hi, I'm Leticia Ferrer. I have seen 20 total solar eclipses in my lifetime, and my intention is to see every one until the day I die. And I am so excited about the next eclipse coming right over North America. It's going to be awesome. The last one was a little over 2 minutes. This one's going to be over 4 minutes, especially through Texas, my home state. I am what you call an umbrophile, one of those crazy people that go all over the world to see total solar eclipses. And with me today is my partner, Chris Alexander.
I'm Chris, and I am also an eclipse chaser. I've only seen 5 total solar eclipses, so I am by no means an expert. I am what's known as a JAFO, which stands for just another friendly observer. I plan on getting into the path of the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and I'm going to keep going until my body won't work or I can't afford it anymore.
I'm a little bit more dedicated than you, because if I can't afford it and my body won't work, it'll be time to move on to the next life. For me. My goal is to come back and do this again, because this has been really fun and I really enjoy it. So,
Okay. So give us all the TED Talk on how you became an eclipse chaser.
after 2 total solar eclipses crossed Nova Scotia in 1970 and 1972, Carly Simon released the song You're So Vain, which contained the line in the song, "Then you flew your Learjet to Nova Scotia to see the total eclipse of the sun." And to me, a 12-year-old farm girl in Central Texas, this represented the epitome of freedom to explore the universe and all its wonders. In 1991, on a beach 40 miles north of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, I experienced my first total solar eclipse. Using my solar eclipse safety glasses, always be safe, I watched the moon take its first little bite out of the sun. First contact, somebody yelled, and we watched as the moon continued to take larger and larger bites. At about 80%, the light around me had dimmed and become very eerie. It's kind of a spooky light. And the temperature had dropped noticeably. The sand on the beach became more sparkly as the sun's light diffracted differently. I noticed that the light coming through the trees gave off 3/4 moon shadows. And I continued to watch as the moon's bite got bigger and bigger and bigger until at the last point of the sun, a diamond ring flashed and disappeared. This was second contact. I removed my solar eclipse safety glasses, and what I saw sent a wave of awe, wonder, and primal amazement over me. The sun was gone. In its place was this beautiful corona, angel's wings. It's hard to describe. Just this flowing corona that extended away from the sun behind the moon. It was stunning. It shimmered. It had a spectacular, the coronas flamed and flared and floated around the moon. Words, pictures, and videos cannot fully describe the experience. And again, it's an experience. Spiritually, I realized the immensity of the universe, that to create this moment of incredible beauty, the earth, moon, and sun had to line up just right. And at the end of that alignment, myself, me, just amazed. And the only thing I said at the end of it was, when and where is the next one? I had to get in the path for the next one. Sadly, for me, the next one wasn't until 1998. But it was in Aruba, on a ship. Same thing happened. It was beautiful. I was awestruck. I had this combination of feeling like the most blessed person on the planet to be able to witness this event, as well as the most insignificant little ant, because it makes me realize the immenseness of the cosmos in my heart, in my soul. So again, after I saw that one, I asked, when and where's the next one? But this time I was surrounded by people on a cruise that go, oh yeah, we're going over to Turkey for the next one. Oh yeah, I've seen 5, I've seen 6, I've seen 10. So I found my community. People chasing eclipses. So I've seen every total solar eclipse since 1998, all over the world.
Totality Talks is sponsored by American Paperware. It's paper that you wear. In 2017, they became a producer of safe ISO 12312-2 compliant glasses for solar observation. They've expanded their product line to include paper frame sunglasses with optically clear and thin-filled sunglass lenses. A great promotional platform for your logo, concept, or artwork to make a lasting impression. Use their Solar Eclipse Design Studio app to create your own custom glasses. American Paperware at ampaperware.com. Click the link down below.
Okay. So what is a solar eclipse and why is it so rare? There's so many questions about the solar eclipse. I'll just start answering some of them. First off, a total solar eclipse is one of the cosmic wonders of the solar system. Only on Earth does it happen. We have other planets have eclipses, but they're not like this one. Throughout much of human history, these events inspired fear and trepidation. And such is the power of science, that total solar eclipses are predicted, explained, anticipated, and now by umbrophiles like me, sought after. Even though we know how eclipses happen, for me, for many scientists, for many people across the world, and this is a global hobby, people all over the world chase total solar eclipses. But knowing the science of it has not taken the wonder, the beauty away from these events at all. Even though we know how eclipses happen, when they're going to happen, how they happen, down to the second we've calculated when they're going to start, when they're going to end, how the planets are going to line up with the sun, that doesn't matter. It has not taken the wonder and the beauty of a total solar eclipse away from those of us who chase it. And everyone here listening to this podcast, I believe, knows the basics. The Earth revolves around the sun. The moon revolves around the Earth. There's no flat earthers that are listening to this podcast.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Are there? Please note it in the chats if you are.
They're out there.
But from the Earth, the moon and the sun have an equal apparent size. The sun is 400 times larger than the moon, and the moon is 400 times closer to Earth. Hence, the apparent size of the sun and moon are the same when seen from Earth. As the moon revolves around the Earth, at each new moon, the moon casts a shadow behind it. However, the way the moon orbits, it actually goes above and below what's called the ecliptic plane of the sun, earth, and moon, which is better to describe with pictures, but we'll put some pictures and links to a very, very good video in the show notes. But when the plane of the ecliptic is in that direct line between the Earth and the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic plane of the sun and Earth, then the moon's shadow will fall on the Earth, creating a solar eclipse. The shadow is called an umbra, but depending on the point of the moon's orbit, the moon's orbit is elliptical, so it's not a straight circle. So sometimes it's farther away from us, which is perigee. Apogee is farther away. Perigee is closer to us. At apogee, we get an annular eclipse. At perigee, we get a total solar eclipse. But it only happens when it crosses that ecliptic plane of the sun, earth, and moon. A total solar eclipse only happens if it's closer to the Earth. So.
Yeah. Well, we did have an annular on October the 14th, and we will talk about that in a future episode. It sounds like we were both able to have good experiences. But while they are both equally as scarce,
Yes.
they aren't quite as spectacular.
They're still amazing. It's still, for me, it still kind of touches my soul in the fact that it's a cosmic event. It doesn't care about a petty little political boundaries down here on Earth. It doesn't care who's running for president. It doesn't care. None of these things matter.
Well, I guess the moon is still passing in front of the sun, so we don't get the darkness. However, in a total solar eclipse, when the moon completely covers the face of the sun and everyone lets out a cheer or a scream or some type of noise.
Sometimes they're silent. Sometimes they're just in shock.
Sometimes quite silent, but there's a overwhelming feeling of connectedness to everyone in the universe.
Everywhere.
Everyone in the location, everyone that's in the path, and it doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter what you think. We're all connected as human beings at that point.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it.
We all live on the planet Earth, and we all are subject to orbital dynamics, and we're lucky to be here. We're lucky the planet can support us. That just comes home to my soul.
Yeah,
and
it's soul touching.
It's soul touching, and for me, it's global. I have met so many people all over the world and traveled all the world, and met so many great people, and been so many great places.
Yeah,
and
that's a lot. What we'll talk about here is a lot of world travel is required. Once you see one, you either get the bug or you don't. And if you do get the bug, it means a lot of world travel, and that's beautiful. Is seeing a place on planet Earth that you've never traveled to, that you would never go ever, unless you were drawn to it, because that's a place on Earth that is accessible to witness a total solar eclipse.
Although we do
sometimes it's not so easy.
Sometimes it isn't so easy. In fact, 2016, I went to Palu, Indonesia. 2005, I went to literally the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I mean, literally, it was a 4-day ship from land just to see a 30-second eclipse in 2000.
And where was that land?
That land was the Galapagos.
The Galapagos. So you're already out in the middle of the water, and then you're sailing.
Another 4 days. There and back for 30 seconds of eclipse. Yeah. I slept the entire time. So it was actually for me, it was a great cruise. For other people, not so much.
Well, Leticia and I met on an eclipse trip in 2020 during the pandemic in Argentina. We'll be back after this quick break.
Did you see the Colombian government is spending almost $4 million to relocate Pablo Escobar's hippos?
In Brazil, a school of piranha attacked and injured at least 8 people at a beach resort.
First fatal mountain lion attack in 20 years in California.
Hey, it's me, Forrest Galante, wildlife biologist. You may have seen me on Joe Rogan's podcast or my various TV shows like Extinct or Alive or Shark Week. So join me and my friends as we break down animal news from around the world and discuss all things wildlife. Click here to unlock these animal mysteries.
Only crazy people would travel in the middle of a pandemic to see a total solar eclipse.
Yeah, but we're friends for a lifetime now.
Yeah.
And maybe even the next lifetime.
Maybe.
Maybe we were friends in a previous lifetime.
Hopefully.
So we went through. I don't want to get into the 2020 thing. We'll do that later.
We'll do the 2020 thing later. Okay, we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll tell you about our little adventure with the 2020 thing. It was an adventure.
Oh my God.
But why are we wanting to do this podcast? We want to do this podcast to hopefully, number one, inspire you to see the next one coming right over North America. Whether you're in Mexico, Texas, or the rest of the United States is the way as Texans look at it. The Eclipse goes all the way up into Canada. You, with a reasonably well cared for car, you can get to see this total solar eclipse. And I really do hope you take inspiration from this podcast to be able to do so. If at minimum, there's 12 million people just in Texas in the path. I just want you guys to get off the phone, get away from the TVs, get away from the screens, step outside and see it. Oh, and by the way, pray for clear skies.
Yes.
Pray for clear skies all along the path.
We'll be promoting clear skies on this podcast.
Yes. Clear skies, clear skies, clear skies, clear skies. Make it a chant.
Clear skies, clear
Anyway,
skies.
we want you to take a look and be prepared. Eye safety is one of our mantras, and you'll hear it over and over again on here. We have, there are lots of very good vendors online. Rainbow Symphony and American Paperware are two that I personally use for glasses. And just get your glasses now, because as you get closer and closer to the eclipse, people will start to see people getting the bug. The crowd factor will come in, and then they're going to be harder and harder to get and start costing more and more money.
I know we go back and forth on this because I know that you want to be safety first. And well, my problem is I've always been a safety third kind of guy. But I heard a horror story, so I'm coming around on that one. Because here's the rule. Never directly observe the sun.
If you want to, if you look
Period.
at the sun and you want to blink and look away, blink and look away. Go get the
don't look at
filters and then look at the sun.
Yeah, never directly observe the sun.
No.
Now, there are ways to get around that with trusty solar eclipse glasses. And here's the other rule. Don't forget to take your solar eclipse glasses off when totality happens.
That's
because
true.
you're not directly observing the sun. You're observing the moon that's blocking the sun 100%.
Right.
So it's 100% safe.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of people with their glasses on during totality.
Oh.
It's like, take them off. Take them off.
That hurts. Yes, you have to
You're
take them off.
wasting seconds.
You're wasting seconds.
And there's a sunset on the horizon for 360 degrees.
There are all sorts of great effects. There's a couple of, our friend Gordon has that great app, the Eclipse Speaker or Eclipse Speak. We should get the actual app name.
It's called the Solar Eclipse Timer.
Anyway, that app is actually really good because it does remind you during the eclipse. First off, look at, diamond ring. You see the diamond ring. You're going to see prominences popping out. You're going to look for the prominences, looking for the corona, look for the magnetic field, the way it's driving the corona. I call them angel's wings of the corona.
It depends. Because we had Angel's Wings in 2019, and then this last spring in 2023, we had Star.
Yeah, it was.
We had points coming out from what was it? How many points did we count?
7 points. It was 7 points.
7-pointed star.
I had never seen such a pointy eclipse. Now the eclipse was just before total maximum. The scientists are saying that we actually reached total maximum this July 2023.
Did they say that we already reached it? I knew that
they said they may have. They said it was early. They said we're going to. I thought they said we reached it early in 2023. July 23. But that just means. But it's an 11-year cycle. So that means by the time we get to 2024, we'll still be on the back end, kind of coming down from that. But it's an 11-year cycle. It's a long ways to go. It's
I think we'll still be peaking.
I think we're still going to be peaking.
Yeah.
So it looks
which will mean coronal, a view of the corona that's shooting out from all areas of the sun and not just the equatorial, the equator, which is what you typically see during a solar minimum total solar eclipse. So,
pray for clear skies, pray for sunspots.
Yeah.
That must be an active sun.
Oh, and sunspots. And sunspots will help you focus. And so that's the good thing about Gordon is that his app will tell you when to take your filters off or when to take your glasses off. And he'll also assist you if you wish to delve into photography, which if you're seeing your first total solar eclipse, I think we both recommend that you don't attempt to photograph it. You should be enjoying the experience.
Yeah.
Or just put your phone on, hit record, and walk away from it. But clicking pictures is no way to watch your first total solar eclipse.
That's what I do. That's what I do, which is why I end up with overexposed videos.
Because that's not the important part. The important part's observing it. And you truly experience a total solar eclipse. You don't just see it. You experience it. That's because the weather changes. The animals change their behavior.
Right.
Birds stop chirping. Sometimes crickets start chirping.
Chickens go to roost. If you live on a farm, chickens are going to go to roost. Lots of farms in Texas will see those chickens just going, hey, it's nighttime. Time for me to go to roost.
2019, we had alpacas, and they didn't know what to do. The alpacas had no idea. I think I saw a couple of them looking at the sun.
The seagulls were coming home. We're heading back to shore.
Yeah, where were you at? You were in Chile?
I was in La Serena in Chile. So we saw the seagulls headed back to shore.
Totality Talk is sponsored by TexasEclipses.com, where you can get the book Texas Solar Eclipses. Learn about solar eclipse safety, the total solar eclipse in Texas of 1878, other recent total solar eclipses, how technology influences our experience, and citizen eclipse science then and now. That's TexasSolarEclipses.com. Click the link down below.
But let's talk for a bit about why are they such a big deal coming over any one spot? I mean, most people consider that total solar eclipses are very rare. They're actually not. There's usually one every 11 to 18 months. However, they're rare on any one spot on any part of the world. So for the United States, prior to 2017, the previous eclipse had been 1979. Then we had the one in 2017.
And that was over the northern part of the United States?
It was the northern part of the United States. It was a piece of the United States. A piece of the United States, northwestern part of the United States got totality. And it's a path. When I say it comes across the United States, I mean, it's still a path through the United States. Not everybody in the United States will see a partial eclipse, but not everybody will see a total eclipse unless you're in the path. So the last one that actually touched the United States, the 48 continental United States, was in 1979. Then we had the big one in August of 2017, which came across. It was a 70-mile wide path over 10 states, and it was amazing. And then we're getting lucky again with 2024 coming, but this time it's coming up from Mexico all the way into Canada. But there's some places like, not Columbus, Ohio, what is
Carbondale, Illinois.
Carbondale, Illinois, that's it. Carbondale, Illinois is getting a double, they're a crossroads of the eclipse. But there's also one here in Texas, because Texas is getting the annular eclipse on October 14th of this year, 2023, and the total solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024. And the crossroads of those two eclipses is around Fredericksburg and Kerrville, just west of San Antonio and Austin. It's called the Texas Hill Country. Our Texas Hill Country is going to be the crossroads of those two eclipses.
The crossroads of eclipses.
Yep.
Now that's pretty rare.
But there are rare. The fact after this one, so we got 7 years after the 2017, we have another one touching the United States, crossing the United States. But then the next one that's going to cross the United States is not going to be for another 21 years until 2045.
But you could travel the world and see the few that occur in between that time.
Yes.
And so we're talking a lot about world travel here, because Leticia and I will definitely be traveling, if possible.
I don't know. I'm going to Greenland for the next one. Are you going to Spain?
I'm going to Spain. I'm doing the Spain beach trip.
Okay, you're doing the Spain.
Sunny beaches in Spain.
I'm doing Greenland because I've never been there.
I've never been either. I've never been to Spain either. So there we go.
You should do Spain.
Knock that out.
Do Spain first, yeah. But then the one after that's going to be crossing Egypt.
Yes,
and the Mediterranean.
I think we'll both be on the same plan on that one.
Yeah.
I have not booked my trip yet, but this is something that you have to consider when you start chasing eclipses. Is that when they're not in your backyard, like 2024, you have to book your trips far in advance.
Far in advance. Yep. Well, actually, if you wanted to see the best place to see it in Texas is down there around in the hill country, and places right now are just priced out of this world. I want to go down to Uvalde for the total, but I may be seeing it in my backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a place picked out in Kerrville, and my plan is to head out to south of Kerrville, Texas to observe, and things go wrong, I can watch it at my place in Austin. But it's only 2 minutes of totality at my place.
Yeah.
It's 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I get 2 minutes. I'm on the edge of the path in Austin.
It's 3 minutes here. I'm only 30 miles from Centerline though. Because if I go down to Ennis, I can go down to Terrell, I can go over to Terrell. It'll depend on the weather. It always depends on the weather.
Yeah. The best weather prospects are the further south and west that you go. That is why the first place on land that has the best weather prospects is Mazatlan, Mexico. So if you want to do the Mexico trip, and I'm pretty sure that those places are all booked up.
Mexico is sold out.
People have been planning on that for quite some time.
Actually, people are now chartering planes to go down there.
Day trip. But as we go up through America, it goes through Arkansas, and then I think it crosses St. Louis, goes Indianapolis, and then over Buffalo, New York, on into Canada, and out into the North Atlantic. So that's the path for 24 totality.
Get in the path. Get into
the path. Yeah, that's
I just got to get them out of the rooms. By the way, Hillsboro's closing.
Good. The schools?
The schools are closing.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's what we need to get out there. I'm talking to guys that are doing events there. I may have a gig, the MC for the day of, with a piece of the house.
That's a lot of responsibility. And so you're going to be like, oh, do I have to give up my eclipse observation?
I'm gonna have Gordon's thing in my ear. I'm gonna have Gordon's thing in my ear and call it, look out for first contact. First contact should be soon.
Oh yeah, first contact.
Use your glasses. Keep your glasses on. Who's gonna yell first contact? And somebody will yell first
It'll
contact.
be you.
No, I'm not gonna yell for contact. I'm gonna let somebody else yell for contact.
I think you yelled it in Argentina in 2020.
Oh, I yelled it. I've yelled it so many times. I'm like, there it is, first contact.
You're the first contact lady.
I am.
I'm the fourth contact troll.
Guy, because you're there till the end.
We hope you enjoy exploring the cosmic world of eclipses with us. There's so much more to explore in the episodes to come. We have interviews lined up with true experts in astronomy, astrophysics, psychology, travel, and other fields related to total eclipses. You won't want to miss our next episode. We have retired astrophysicist, author, photographer, and eclipse expert, Fred Espenak. That's right, Mr. Eclipse himself. Before we go, a big thanks to all of you for listening. Rest assured, we are working out our microphone issues. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us get better and to encourage more people to join our community. Clear skies.